I'm Seth McLaughlin, a national politics reporter with the Washington Times.
And I'm Susan Ferrechio, also a national politics correspondent for the Washington Times.
We have a big day on deck here at the third day of the Republican National Convention, but let's catch up on what happened yesterday.
Last night, the speeches were really interesting because we finally heard from President Trump's top rivals in the GOP primary, and that was South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Those two were his most formidable opponents in what was really a short GOP primary. They were his staunchest critics as well, so to have them on the stage endorsing him was this big moment of unity that the Republican convention is pushing, and they capped it off last night. Nikki Haley took many a sharp jab at President Trump over the primary, and she got on stage initially to boos from the crowd, but she made it clear right away that even though they have their differences, she's giving her strong endorsement. So she sort of won them over as her speech progressed, and Ron DeSantis came out to a far friendlier reception because he's a little more conservative than Nikki Haley, to say the least, and he also did not go after Trump as aggressively. He was more subtle, and he also dropped out right after New Hampshire, whereas Nikki Haley hung on and really kind of irked President Trump, who thought that the thing should have been wrapped up. And the other thing we heard last night was a heartfelt speech from a mom of a child who died from a fentanyl overdose, and she got a standing ovation. People had tears in their eyes, and she wanted to stress the fact that the border is open and that she believes President Trump can come in and seal the border up, make it more secure, and slow down the onslaught of these deadly drugs that are coming over the southern border. So that was probably one of the big moments. And we also heard from a mom of a son, a war veteran who came home and died on the streets of New York at the hands of a criminal who they believe was on the streets because of very soft on crime policies by some of these prosecutors throughout the United States that are being funded by George Soros, who's a very liberal donor, wealthy donor. So that was another big and emotional speech, all about personal safety and national safety, and how President Trump can be a bigger voice and a stronger proponent of that if he's elected.
That has been a big part of the program here. The Trump campaign and the Republican National Committee have been sure to highlight the stories of real people and to sprinkle that in around the elected officials to drive home some of the policy contrasts that they want to make with President Biden in the 4 years we've seen out of his administration, and of course immigration is center to that. Today there will be stuff about crime and also the administration's relationship to veterans and military affairs.
Today's going to be very exciting on day 3 because we're finally going to hear from the vice presidential nominee, J.D. Vance. He was picked on Monday after months of suspense as to who would be President Trump's running mate. J.D. Vance is a Republican senator from Ohio. Highly anticipated speech. He's going to be on deck, the last speaker of the night. Right ahead of him, his wife Usha will give sort of an introductory speech. We'll hear more about probably his life on a more personal level. That tends to be how the family introduces the big candidate. So that's going to be very interesting. The other important person visiting today is a very unique guest, and that is Peter Navarro, a former top aide in the Trump administration. He is coming here straight from Miami Federal Prison, where he served a 4-month sentence for refusing to testify before Congress in matters related to the January 6, 2021 riot at the Capitol. So this is a really big moment here. Straight from jail to the RNC stage. He will speak early in the evening, and that's going to be a really widely anticipated speech.
We also will see tonight Don Jr. will be on stage, the first of the Trump family to speak, and
yes,
we are expecting perhaps others to do the same in the following days.